Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Alessandro Rocco Pietrocola, and today we are going to discuss about how to pitch $1 million for your startup. So welcome my
Thank you very much.
Thomas. Probably you saw me in my profile, Instagram or his profile. We are both member of Changer Club, that is our business angel investor community. So we'll put a link as well in the description. We kind of see a lot of startup pitching us. So we, as investor, we try to share our thoughts and how we analyze what can be the best startup to invest in. So let's go straight away into the topic.
Yes, let's share our wisdom as always. And we can only hope that our viewers are gonna subscribe to our YouTube channels.
Link in description.
All the links, as always, in the description. Let's get to it.
Definitely.
So, Alessandro, tell me, when you're looking at a startup, so for example, it is some kind of a great idea and there are some people behind it, what would be the first thing that you would look at? I think that this is very useful for our subscribers and followers, and as well as for people who are looking to start their startup and get their idea into the world. And they are usually looking at it from the perspective of a founder, of a perspective of a CEO who has this idea and who wants to create it. But I think it's even more important when it comes to pitching money. You need to look at it from the perspective of somebody who's going to be investing that money. So what would be the first thing you would look at when it would
So as an investor, as investor, I will look first at the team. So I want to understand who is behind the company. So the team is important. It's also important that I'm not involved with 100,000 person, where there is 10 developer, 5 managing director, and you don't know who you're talking to. So a clear and very simple. Less people, always the best. Second, the business idea.
And it's, it's very interesting. Sorry for interrupting you, but I've noticed it right away that you've started talking about not the idea first. You started talking about who is behind the project.
Yes.
So, and that is something that I've heard so many times from successful investors, and that's what how I've been developing my investor view as well, that we oftentimes invest not that much often into the idea as into an individual
first.
Who is behind it?
Because I want to make sure that he's very committed to his idea. It is not going to change, because for a startup, when we start, will be million problems. So I want to be sure about the people who is going to drive my car. So and I want my money to be safe. So it's very important how committed he is, which experience he had, which background he has, and this is very, very important. At the second place, the business idea. So if you come out with in a specific idea, I will always ask why do you think that a potential customer should buy from you? For example, yesterday we saw Bolt. Why I should download Bolt apps and not using Uber, for example?
Right.
Because I have, I don't know, a cheaper price, or I have a better rate, or I have a better service, or whatever.
It has to be a very comprehensive white paper.
Why? Absolutely. Absolutely. And after third, what is also not considered is the country, because if your startup,
so the market that they're targeting,
not only the market, the market we're targeting is the fourth place, where the company is incorporated. Because maybe I invest in an Austrian company that has 25% capital gain tax. So whatever, I'm taxed at 25%. So I would prefer a Singapore company or where I don't pay capital gain. Just for example, just to tell.
This, as for example, from the other day, the topic of why there are not so many startups in Italy, because of the tax of what, 70%?
It's crazy system. So there's lots of tax would sum up. So
even if there would be a really great idea, you would probably be very hesitant to invest into something that is based in Italy, because it doesn't really make that very much financial sense.
Yeah.
So, okay, so and the fourth is?
market. Which market are you targeting? So are you new in that market? So are you target the United States? Are you target Asia? And how well you know that market? For example, I spend a lot of the time in Asia, so Russia, China, Southeast Asia, Middle East. So I know a lot about mentality, culture, and this, for me, it's easier to communicate. But if I would have to do something in Africa, I will have some problems. So important is how the person who is taking me into this journey know the market. So it's also very
imperative.
Important.
Absolutely.
Of course. So that I would say is my 4 check-up point to start with.
And I agree with them. That's pretty much what I have in my mind as well. And with the only thing to add really is for number 4, which is the market, I would be looking for, just to add, I would be looking for disruption. So I want to see...
As well, yeah.
Because with startups, about 80 to 90% of startups fail miserably.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you need to have, in your portfolio of startups, at least, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 startups.
Yeah, for private equity, I would say the minimum 20. That's
minimum
the reason
20.
we discussed in one video. That's why it doesn't make sense to start private equity with $10,000.
It's impossible. So, and that's pretty much the idea. So you need that founder, that concept, and in this case we're talking more about the concept, the idea of the company. It has to be disruptive. So right now there are so many startups in the field of tech, medical, pharmaceuticals, obviously. Healthcare, yeah. So the future of the world, like things like SpaceX,
I think
exploration.
Absolutely, tech, space, and healthcare are absolutely...
Those are the ones that, those are the $1 billion boys.
The next $1 billion. Yes.
Right, and $1 trillion possibly.
Absolutely.
Because, and that's the thing, a lot of investors, smart investors, they're looking for, rapid growth. So for example, when you look at the stock market and you're investing into some regular blue chip stock, then this is something that, like Coca-Cola is, or Microsoft, it's not that very interesting. So with startup, you don't really want to invest into something that is going to be the next, pizzeria somewhere in Italy, or something limited to certain market, or has logistical issues that, are going to be in the way of infinite scalability. So as an investor, what I'm looking for from 100 startups I look at, I might be interested in like 1 or 2 of them, because usually the startups are not really that scalable as I wanted them to be scalable. So I want to get into a business with 100,000 or 20,000, whatever, and end up with millions within a few years. So
scalability, it's very, very interesting.
Scalability, that's what I'm looking at. It's
fundamental, and also myself, in my experience, is always what I fight a lot in my business and stuff, because I always try to be in a way that it's scalable, and I always suggest to all my clients, scalability is absolutely another fundamental point especially for an investor, because nobody interested that you are the best, that you are good, that the people want to see how the company can develop. They want to probably enter with 100,000, exit with maybe 5 million, for example.
That's the thing. Right now, the modern investors, they're so crazed about money. Not just like always, but right now especially. And there are so many unicorns also recently, with all the new techs and all the development of us as human race just going to the skies, basically. So the modern investor is going to be looking for infinite scalability. So because there is such a huge competition on the venture capital market and startups, everybody is an entrepreneur now and has a startup. So in that startup, for you, if you want $1 million like this, it has to be disruptive. It can be something simple, but something that is going to create a revolution in certain industry.
Absolutely.
In this way, you will have no problem with pitching money. But the other thing, and a few points I wanted to add when it comes to the founder. So when it comes to us investing, not just in the idea, but into the individual. And you're absolutely right. So they must be very invested. So if, for example, they're looking for $1 million, they must have some skin in the game. So if they are looking for $1 million and they have 0 invested, or like 5,000.
Yeah, this are absolutely out.
Absolutely out, right away.
Absolutely right away. It's one of the things what I always ask: how much money do you invest in your startup? I don't know, at the beginning, at least at the beginning. So especially if you are at the early stage, I would say that maybe 10, 20% you should have invested. If you are on I don't know, some kind of later stage, maybe 10%. But if you zero, I mean,
I will never invest.
Yeah, I will never invest because you have no interest in,
Yeah.
and you're just managing.
Managing and you have no incentive.
Yeah.
You have to have an incentive, and you have to have things to lose. When people don't have anything to lose, it just begins that we'll try. And this is not what I want to invest in, even if your idea is incredible.
Yeah, I don't want to invest in somebody who is just willing to try. I want to invest in a company where the CEO, the founder, or whoever run the show will do all what it takes.
It's his life. It's the work of his life.
Yes, to succeed in that specific business. So it's for me fundamental in order to pick which startup to choose.
Yeah. And it's also, I would also probably, it's not as important, but I would look at what are they doing in general.
Absolutely.
So if they are, having working as lawyers and working on their startup as part-time.
No, they need to be fully committed. Fully committed. There is a people who work 24 hours a day on that specific project, and until
they believe in it.
They believe, and it's the scope of their life. So startup is not something what you can do part-time.
Yeah.
It should be the main.
If you're gonna be the unicorn. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It should be the main activity of your life. Absolutely. So
and that's the thing. Oftentimes I get pitched day and night. They send me white papers, some strange projections and budgets for all kinds of projects. And then I don't even bother speaking with these people even on a Zoom call, because when I say, where's the white paper? And they're like, what's a white paper? Like, you're fucking kidding me. You don't know what a white paper is? So, and these are you have to be not just fully committed, it's your life. So when you speak to somebody who is into this 100%, you feel it right away. So if I sit down with somebody or have a phone call with them, give me 3 minutes and I'll tell you with a certain probability the success rate of this business. So how the perception of the seriousness of this business just resonates from the founder. So if you want to be pitching money for your idea, you have to at least come off of somebody who is in it to do it 100%. So it's like your life basically. And also a super important point to add to your points, and that is the founder and his experience. So for example, what just to put it in perspective, to make the long story short, is that if you are, for example, an accountant and you are trying to create a tech company and you have no idea about tech, and you are not an IT guy and you just want to outsource IT specialists, this is
not going to work. Absolutely.
It's I mean, it might work, but it's a high risk, and me or you, I think we would never invest into something like this.
Absolutely. We have very common vision in terms of investment. That's why we are doing the business together. There will be lots of interesting things coming out.
Subscribe.
Coming out this year. Yeah. So absolutely, we don't want to invest in some type of business where you. The people who run the show is not involved in the day.
If it's not their expertise.
It's not their expertise, and he outsources, and maybe he has a problem of outsourcing, and
it becomes a lot more difficult.
A lot
more expensive.
Absolutely, yeah.
And the success rate of this whole idea reduces with each of these problems.
Absolutely.
It's small details, but it affects it.
Absolutely. And another point is when you receive probably, I don't know, 50, 60 page of these details of many formula, and I think simplicity is really king in this case. So if I sit in a call and you in 5 minutes, you can't explain what is about your startup, why you're going to be disrupt the industry, and how you're going to run the show, it's most likely you won't be the next unicorn.
Right.
And probably
because there's such a huge competition in the market.
There's huge competition. If you need 60 page and 3 hours discussion to only explain what your business,
it has to be a simple solution of a simple problem for a big number of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
These are usually the best, and they are always easy to explain because a lot of times the genius is on the surface. Just it's waiting for somebody to pick it up. And that's the thing, you know, these are the small details that I think for you guys who are startuppers and who have their amazing, brilliant ideas, this is what most investors will be looking at. They will be looking more at you than at your idea. Well, of course, if you want to open a pizzeria somewhere in Magnitogorsk in Russia or something, I don't know, whatever Magnitogorsk is, it just sounds interesting. Probably we will be swiped off of the table of a good investor anyway, but if you have a good idea, it just does not end there. Don't think that you have a great idea and everybody's going to be running to you to invest into your idea. The idea is the beginning.
The idea is just the beginning. That there is you and how you develop and
how you develop it. So it's also important if, for example, I sit down with a founder and I ask him a question saying, so what do you think? What if we change this, we change that? And basically I tell him on purpose that we'll just redo the whole project. And if the founder will say yes to absolutely everything that I'm saying,
that is a big no for me.
It's a huge no. It's
because
a trap.
It means that he has no any personality, he has no any vision. He's just focused on the money. You not need to be focused on the money I'm investing in. You need to be focused on your project. So that is big no if he's willing to change. He have to be so in love with that idea. Of course, there may be some adjustment.
Small flexibility.
Small flexibility. The idea should be really willing into a specific direction and should be really unique so that
and he has to stand by it.
Absolutely. He has to stand by for that idea and put all what he can in order to succeed.
This will show the character.
Absolutely.
Again, this will show the character of the potential to overcome difficulties later on, and even the way how the founder speaks and address, because I mean it's controversial. So the investor who's about to give you $1 million is telling you, well, yeah, I'll invest if blah blah blah, and then I mean on one hand you really want the money, on the other hand, what if it's a test, and on the third hand you don't really want to make those adjustments because it's gonna make your project lose the point, really. So you have to find that, and you have to be a great politician in this way, you know. But at the same time, you really need to stand by your ideas, because as for me, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I've never liked to involve anybody in my projects, because I really have my vision and I'm still flexible. I'm open to experience and expertise and to pay attention to it. But if I'm doing a project that I believe in, I'm not gonna redo the whole freaking thing. So that's why I always was looking to do it with my own money, but that's a different story. So
of course,
when you're looking to pitch money, be very careful even in the interview itself, because there might be a lot of stones and to uncover, and you have to be very careful because there might be some traps set for you by the investor, and he will try to trick you into giving up the whole concept of your project just to give you money. And if you say yes to it, you will never get a penny from that investor. You have to be really cold-blooded guy who is, this idea is his fucking life. And the idea is disruptive, it's moving forward, you have the skin in the game, you'll get yourself $1 million.
Absolutely.
Easily.
Yeah,
and there are so many networks, even our Changer Club. I mean, if you have a great idea, we can put you in touch with the Changer Club, and you can actually pitch in front of all of us. We have like 150 members, and the overall buying power is at about $3 billion right now, or euro, whatever. So, I mean, if you have a great idea, send me a message on Instagram or Alessandro, but make sure you don't send us bullshit, because we're just gonna delete you.
Absolutely.
So send
we
us
just receive enough bullshit.
Yeah, we receive enough bullshit on a daily basis. So send us, again, follow me and Alessandro on Instagram, all the links in the description. Send us a white paper, a budget, projections, a little bit about yourself, your resume, so everything. So when we have the idea, so we can look through it and say, interesting or not interesting. So just as an idea, if you're a startupper and you're watching this video, so this is something that we'll be looking forward to seeing in a startup, for us to even consider giving like even $1 to somebody.
This is exactly what we will looking for as investor in a startup. So thank you for watching this video. Just comment and ask us whatever you want to know. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You will have the link in the description. Please watch out, one of the best educational program in the world from Thomas. And you will have also a link to my consultation and my blog. So hit the button, follow us also on Instagram. There is a lots of interesting backstage
stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely. So thank you for watching. Just let me know and let us know whatever you want us to talk about. We'll be very happy to share our expertise and our life experience with you.
Maybe we can do something fun. Maybe you can we can have a small vote in the comments of your video. Maybe we can go skydiving or something. But I'm just kidding. But let us guys know in the comments what would you like to see.
Okay, thank you for watching. Take care.